Hello and welcome to where I forgot to start the music. Okay, now the music's starting. Okay, welcome to the video that was produced extremely professionally by professionals. That's us.
Professionally.
Yes. So, first of all, let's explain the circumstances that led to this. You might, if you're one of our like 5 regular listeners, you might be very confused here. We can't do the podcast right now, which is very unfortunate because we couldn't do it for over a month previously because Saradin was traveling. But now Kevin's laptop fan broke, so he can't render the podcast.
Yeah, I was. It's interesting. Right before we did the pod, right before we came back, like a couple weeks before we came back, I had new thermal paste applied to the CPU and GPU inside my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that everything's working fine and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But right after I had the new thermal paste applied, like 3 weeks later, literally a couple days after we did the podcast episode, one of the fans in my laptop, the one right over the CPU, died. And I don't know if anybody knows this about rendering a podcast in DaVinci Resolve. That's all CPU, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
in the interest of making sure Kevin's laptop doesn't burst into flames, we're postponing the podcast until such time where that can be fixed. I loaned him money for a replacement part that should be in hopefully sooner than later. And when we can do the show again, we will.
Yeah, we should be back by no later than the beginning of May.
Yeah.
So that's my expectation here.
Until then, interim videos will pursue because we record those on my end, and they don't require any editing because I just do it live in OBS, which is how I prefer to do things. Very easy, not a lot of work, just a bit of setup to make sure everything looks right in advance.
Yeah, I just like doing stuff in DaVinci Resolve because I like to just do things. I like editing. I like flexing every now and then.
Well, yeah, it's also cleaner, looks nicer. I'm not disparaging the editing craft, you dingus. I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm just saying. I like low effort video. I like having an idea and then going, let's do that right now, and then we can just do it, and that's it.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree.
One of those ideas was not a new idea really, but an old idea, which is I happened to notice on both ITA and ITH, am I the asshole here? The Splinter sub, as it were. I don't know why it exists, but it does. A few days ago, there was just a massive influx of relationship-related posts. And I thought, well, let's just, since we can't do the podcast, let's do a solo Reddit dive, where I have a fucking shitload of relationship posts. And if you think you could think of this as a Reddit dive, or you could also think of it as a Zeke and Kevin relationship counseling hour, as it were. Because who's better qualified to do that than us? Don't answer that question. Answering that question is illegal. Anyway, we're just gonna have a chill sesh. We're gonna sit back, get a drink, get some snacks, even cuddle up by the fire, or by a open window or something. Make sure it's nice and spooky for the Avery Alexander music. Shout out to Avery Alexander. I love your music. I have an entire playlist of your music that I exclusively play Halo Infinite's Tactical Slayer to. Thank you so much. I've actually been using his music in my videos for years.
You have been.
Yeah.
You have been.
He makes banger shit, man. Nobody makes...
Yeah.
He didn't invent stealth music, as he calls it, but he is a master of the craft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
And yeah.
Anyway. Anyway, this is gonna be a chill, laid back session. No Saradin, he didn't pack our chill. Also he's busy. So when isn't he? When isn't he though? Anyway, so we're gonna be jumping right in. Only 4 minutes into the video with our solo, not solo, but standalone Reddit dive.
Woohoo!
I'll start us off with a... Well, it's all Ita, but am I the asshole for despising my boyfriend's Duck Dynasty beard? If you don't know what Duck Dynasty is, just take a second to Google it. You'll know immediately what this refers to.
Yeah. Just pause the video. Google Duck Dynasty.
You don't even have to.
Like,
you don't even have to pause
picture.
the video. Just fucking open in a new tab. I don't know, on your phone. So many options. Anyway, my boyfriend and I matched on a dating app in December of 2022. In his pictures, he was clean-shaven, or had no longer had an inch of beard hair. Legitimately 30 seconds before I walked into our first date, he texted me word for word, "How do you feel about beards?" To which I replied something along the lines of, "I like them." That wasn't a lie. I do like the common beard. I walk up to our date and see him standing there with a beard that is like armpit level.
Man, when she said Duck Dynasty beard, she fucking meant it.
I made a comment like, "I didn't know you meant that kind of beard," and he laughed it off. To be honest, I was instantly turned off because I felt both deceived and less attracted. Fast forwarding through the date, we had a great time and really hit it off. On our second date, I asked him about the beard, and he told me he planned on cutting it around May of 2023. I was thinking to myself, okay, I won't tell him I don't like it because it'll be gone in a few months. I can do this. Oh, she misinterpreted his word. I can already see where this is going. But May came, and he went, and the beard was still there. I finally began to allude to not liking it. He told me he'd now cut it in December of 2023. December came and went, and by that point, I started to be more open about the fact I did not like it. Today, the beard is now approaching his belly button. Now, my boyfriend has told me that he likes the beard because it makes him more recognizable in his business, which gets him a lot of deals. He hasn't admitted this, but I also know he really likes the attention he gets from the beard. We can't go an hour without someone commenting on it when we're out. However, he takes the comments as compliments, and I see them as people commenting on a spectacle, like, wow, look at the guy with 3 heads. I really hate it. My boyfriend is a great guy and so handsome, but it makes him look old and disheveled. Also, for some context, we are an interracial couple with a 13-year age gap. I don't give a shit.
Who gives a shit?
It is to the point where I refuse to introduce him to my family. I live out of my home state, so I've been able to avoid it, but my best friend recently came into town and saw the beard in person, and she was in utter shock. I know that if he has this beard, my dad will not like him, and the age gap will be even more apparent to him. My dad has a very negative reaction to my sister's now husband, who's 10 years older but looks her age. Of course, my dad's opinion of him should not sway how I feel, but obviously I want him to have a good first impression. Am I the asshole for wanting him to cut it and not wanting to introduce him to my family until he does so?
Okay, first of all, your dad's not going to have a good first impression on your boyfriend no matter what, so why do you fucking care? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this about dads, historically anti-boyfriend.
Yeah, moving that out of the way to focus on the real matter here. I don't know. I feel like.
Look, you can.
I kind of get it.
You can not find someone attractive or not want to date them for any fucking reason you want. It's not going to stop us from thinking you're a little shallow for it if everything else is going well, though.
Yeah, it's more than a little vain of you to act like the beard itself is such a major issue, and also from what you've mentioned in this post, you have kind of acted like a bitch about the beard the entire time because you've been doing the whole, the whole fucking girlfriend thing of, I want to tell him that I don't like this, but I don't want to tell him, so I'm gonna like drop hints here and there and make him feel uncomfortable and self-conscious about it, and maybe he'll do something about it later. Like,
I can fix him.
For fuck's sake, people, stop doing that. Just, if you don't like something, tell the person you don't like it.
That's also true. I think.
Stop fucking doing this.
Yeah, I think. If anything, I think she's kind of. I don't know about full asshole, but she's definitely showing a little crack here by leading him on for several months about it. You know.
Oh yeah.
This should have been more sternly communicated what a deal breaker was earlier. I like Top comment here. No assholes here. He's had the beard since you started dating. He likes it. You don't. He gets to choose how he looks. If this is a deal breaker for you, I'm not sure how much time more time you're going to sink into this relationship.
That is also true. Like, everybody's got like kind of a breaking point, and as shallow of a breaking point as this is, it is what it is.
Yeah, so. I mean, we all have to acknowledge that we're all kind of shallow. You know. You know, I have my shallow deal breakers. You probably have your shallow deal breakers. You know.
Oh yeah.
Someone else's shallow deal breaker might not seem like a big deal to us or to them, vice versa. But you know, it's all valid. You just gotta, again, properly communicate it. And yeah, so you're not the asshole for not liking his. As far as the spirit of the actual title, you're not the asshole for despising your boyfriend's Duck Dynasty beard. I do think you're verging on asshole territory for having let it fester for this long, though.
Yeah. So like, how would you grade this?
I'd still say no assholes here, but
no assholes here.
I'm watching you.
Yeah.
I got my eye on you.
Anyway. It's peeking.
Mm-hmm. This contact lens represents you, and my eye represents my eye. I've got my eye on you. Anyway, knock that one out of the park. Would you like to?
Yeah.
Would you like to? Maybe not that one. That one's a huge block of time. Would you like to read a better one?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Just send them to me. I shall read.
Yes, classic format. Let my voice get a rest.
All right. Am I the asshole? Let me open this up in Reddit app. Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole for getting pissed at my boyfriend for saying he'd love to fucking rail Margot Robbie? Okay, to be fair, it's Margot Robbie. For background, my boyfriend and I have been going out for almost 5 months now. Our relationship is pretty good, but one thing that constantly bugs me is that he's always commenting on the attractiveness/unattractiveness of other women. Like when I bring up a female celebrity or we're watching a movie or TV show together, he might say something like, "Damn, she's hot," or "I've never really found her attractive." I don't get the hype. Some guys are just like that. Mm-hmm. I've asked him before why he feels the need to make those comments all the time and told him that it annoys me, but he justified it that he only says it about celebrities, not any women he sees/knows in real life, and said that he wouldn't mind if I said the same thing about male celebrities. I didn't love that defense, but it's been a while since he's done it again, so I let it go.
I mean, I'll take him at his word of that, because like it might be one of those situations where the celebrity's not a real person, you know. They're
right, yeah.
He sees them on TV. He's never gonna meet them, you know. So
yeah, there's just like too many degrees of separation for him to really see the harm in expressing.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one, but go on.
But then the other day we were watching the Barbie movie at his place. Okay, to be fair, Margot Robbie looks really good in the Barbie movie. Mm. And out of nowhere he just goes, "God, I'd fucking rail Margot Robbie. She's so gorgeous." You know what, man? I get it. That set me off. I immediately paused the movie and went in on him, asking why he would feel so uncomfortable saying that in front of his girlfriend, and does he just not care about how it makes me feel? He tried to use the same defense as before, saying that it's just words. He'd obviously never even been in a situation to sleep with her, and I'm being too sensitive about it. That pissed me off even more, so I just left. That was 2 days ago. He has tried calling and texting me since, but I told him I'm still pissed and need time to myself. I told this to one of my friends this morning, and she agreed that it was a stupid thing for him to say, but I'm blowing this out of proportion and should have forgiven him by now. Need to hear some other opinions. Am I the asshole? No one cares about the edit.
Yeah. Anyway. Right. This is just a clash of personality. You know, some people are okay with these kinds of hypotheticals, and some people aren't okay with that. I really don't like to do the Reddit thing and just go, "You should break up," because relationships are obviously way more complicated than any Reddit post could truly capture, right? But just based on this, I would have to say I think you two need to either compromise with each other, which I guess compromise in this instance would mean that he doesn't get to say these things, but I don't want him to not be true to himself if he wants to fucking rail Margot Robbie. So I think it's a compatibility issue, and I think they should find people who are more on their level about this sort of thing. Yeah. And again, I really hate saying that because it's basically one step divorced from divorce him, but like I really feel like if you can't. And maybe this is just the standard that I would have, but I feel like if you can't be honest with each other and you can't let each other be yourselves around each other, and this is an aspect, and like this is it sounds like I'm joking, but this is an important aspect of his personality and how he expresses himself,
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like if he can't express this part of himself around you, what other things can't he express around you, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship where I had to walk on eggshells about expressing, my thoughts and my feelings and stuff like that. So I see this as a greater symptom of a personality disconnect. And for that reason, I think you should probably see other people.
Most likely, yeah. I'm gonna say not the assholes here. Not the.
I'm gonna say no assholes.
No assholes
here. Yeah, no assholes here. It's just a personality conflict.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal, honestly. And like and to be fair, he's probably just kind of expressing this in the same way that he's expressed it with other guys, just like, oh man, oh man,
really,
he's kind of mid.
Really, this guy needs to find a bisexual girl to get with.
Yeah, God, yeah, actually, he really does.
Yeah. Anyway.
And then she can do that with the men, and then he can do that with the women, and she can understand the thing about the women, and everything's fine now.
Yeah. So, go find a bi chick. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Anyway. Next post. Am I the asshole for telling my husband he can no longer comment on my weight? I, 24F, and my husband, 24M, have been married for 2 years. We met when I was one size smaller. I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to mentally picture that. Me and my husband get into arguments about a lot over my weight and appearance. He says I took better care of myself when we met, which in my opinion is not true. I always make an effort to go to the salon every 2 weeks to get a wax, eyelashes, nails, etc. done. I also go to the gym at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday before going to work. I probably eat 2 to 3 times a day, not a big snacker. I cook a lot, so I don't eat out a lot and eat junk food, but even if I do these things, it's hard to lose weight because I was diagnosed with PCOS. Look up what that is.
Okay.
It's not impossible for me to lose weight, but it is harder. My husband saw my old pictures of me from 6 years ago when I used to be a college lacrosse player. Go on.
Okay. Polycystic ovary syndrome, a hormonal disorder causing enlarged ovaries with small cysts on the outer edges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he saw pictures of me 6 years ago when I used to be a college lacrosse player. I was my fittest back then. Mind you, I used to work out Monday to Friday, 3 hours, and Saturday 1 hour, rest on Sundays. My husband will comment, "You look so much better back then. I wish you could look like you did back then. My wife will look so much better on my arm being thinner." I get it. I looked great back then, but I'm also not 17, 18 years old anymore. He thinks his comments are encouraging, and I tell him, how are they encouraging if they always start an argument? So I keep the peace. To keep the peace, I ask that he stop commenting on my weight and appearance. He says it's not fair to keep his opinions of his wife to himself, and that I can't ask him to stop commenting on my weight and appearance, but those comments hurt my feelings more than encouraged. I would wear outfits and he would tell me to change because I looked bad, but if I still wear it and get a compliment from a stranger, he's on cloud 9 and says that I look amazing, even though 30 minutes ago he said I looked horrible. So am I the asshole to ask him to stop commenting on my weight and appearance? Okay, so if it bothers you, it bothers you. Like, nobody can take that away from you. What I will say, and like, especially if it's the result of something you're diagnosed with, it's probably not your. I mean, if you're working out every day, Monday through Friday, and you're not eating terribly, then this really is both a side effect of your condition, and also the fact that you're just getting older. And so even if you didn't have this condition, this sort of thing is just kind of inevitable. There's kind of a Goldilocks period for human beings to be peak attractive. Like, sorry to say, it'll happen to you.
It'll happen to you if it not already has.
Yeah. So I feel like this guy was always destined to be disappointed, and I think if he wants to continue having relationships, I think he needs to kind of introspect a little bit about where his standards lie, and whatnot.
And also what he's actually in this relationship for.
Sure. But as for the question, are you the asshole for telling him he can't comment on your weight? I mean, yeah. I mean, if it hurts your feelings, yeah, you're in your right to tell him that. I think that's an expectation to have.
And honestly, you handled it as well as you could.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think you're in the right to tell him that you're not comfortable with that. I think he's in his right to feel however he wants to feel about it, but I do think eventually it's going to reach a point where he can have his standards, but he's going to find it more and more difficult for them to be fulfilled.
Yeah, especially long term.
Yeah, so once again, I'd probably go no assholes here.
No assholes here. We're getting a surprising amount of no assholes here. Come on, let's get some spicy ones in here.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess
spice must flow.
Okay, some real. All right, this one looks to be potentially asshole-ish in nature. Read this one, chap.
Alrighty then, good sir. Oh, this is a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Would I be the asshole? These are rare. Would I be the asshole for giving my parents an ultimatum? Stop charging me high rent, or I'm moving out. In my culture, children typically stay home until marriage, especially daughters.
Probably
also,
Indian.
It looks bad. Yeah, probably. Also, it looks bad to the community for a woman to live alone while living in the same city as family, and parents would be the subject of gossip. It's risky living alone as a woman, so I went along with it. I'm 26F, and my parents are in their 50s. But when I graduated and started working, my parents suddenly started charging me $1,000 a month for rent and utilities.
Where's the family discount? Go on.
I find this kind of high. I also pay my car insurance and usually pay for and cook my own food. I also clean common areas around the house a few times a week. I told my mom that the rent is high and asked if she'd lower it, and she said, no, I need to do that my part and contribute to the household. But it's not like I'm some freeloader. I contribute financially and do a good chunk of housework. My parents literally said, you are not moving out until you bring a husband home. Yeah. Living alone before marriage is not our culture, so they don't want me to leave, yet they're charging me high rent. I plan on giving them an ultimatum. Lower the rent or I'm moving out. Would I be the asshole for this?
No.
Just move out.
Yeah, no. Your parents are using your culture as an excuse to embezzle you, I guess.
They're leeching money off of you because they find it convenient, opposed to just getting the money themselves.
Yeah,
or working on their own finances.
Historically on the podcast, we have always been against parents charging their kids rent. But in this particular case, it's especially egregious because they're holding your own culture over your head about it.
Oh yeah.
So, no, you would not be the asshole for giving that ultimatum, and you should probably just leave, especially if you have enough money to be paying this high rent in the first place. Why give it to these assholes when you could be giving it to different assholes who at least won't give you as hard a time about it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Go find a landlord.
And at the very least, at the very least, these other assholes you're not even fucking related to.
Yeah. I mean, they're still assholes. All landlords are, but these ones won't hold your culture over your head like a leash. So.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have the frickin' problem of family getting in the way.
Yeah. So.
No. Yeah.
Not the asshole.
You would not be the asshole. No.
Yes. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for telling my ex-girlfriend to go fuck herself and calling her an ignorant bitch, causing a scene at her job?
Ooh.
A lot of. You're not making yourself look good in the header, but let's see how the story goes.
As we have always seen, sometimes the header does not properly convey the nuances of the situation.
Yes. My 21M twin brother, Danny, died from cancer 2 years ago. Now, I've always considered myself straight. I've never been into guys, but me and Rafe, I'm assuming short for Raphael, but I don't know, have gotten really close while Danny was sick, and got even closer after he died. Around Christmas last year, we ended up making out, and we realized we had feelings for each other, and we started hooking up and going on dates. We're still keeping it low-key because it's still a new thing to me, and we don't know how our friends and my family would take it. While out a restaurant yesterday, our waiter ended up being my ex-girlfriend, Kaylee, 22F. She recognized it as a date, and that's when things got weird. We broke up while Danny was sick, and I was getting closer to Rafe. I didn't break up with her because of Rafe or anything, but she was still controlling. But because she was controlling, she didn't take it well. She says this is why we broke up, huh? And behind Danny's back, but congratulating me on finally coming out. Basically implying I was secretly gay and me and Rafe had been having an affair. That royally pissed me off. Rafe tried to get me to calm down, telling me I know it wasn't the truth, but I couldn't hold back, and I just yelled at her that she could go fuck herself, and she was an ignorant bitch who got dumped because of how controlling she was. The manager came over and had us leave. She apparently got fired and has been texting me constantly about how I could make such a scene like that at her job. Rafe says he understands why I'd get upset, but shouldn't have done that. Am I the asshole? No, that's funny.
Nah, that's really funny, and she was the one making a scene in the first place. You just gave her the consequences of her actions, not the asshole.
Okay, Reddit wanted info. Did you know she worked at the restaurant you chose for your date? He says no. They say everyone sucks here. You were both behaving poorly. Nah, this is earned. Fuck you.
Nah, I disagree. This was absolutely earned on her part, because judging from what he's saying, this has been like a long-term issue with her.
Yeah, and also just to clarify things here, he didn't make the scene. She made the scene. She instigated this.
Started everything. Yeah, she instigated the situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, this isn't his problem. This isn't his fault.
Not the asshole. Yep. Whew. We're so good at this. Anyway.
Yeah, go on. Come on, let's have an actual fucking just piece of shit come in here, please.
Well, we had a piece of shit. They just weren't the one writing the Reddit post.
Right.
Anyway. Wait, that's the wrong one. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Copy-paste only works sometimes. Microsoft is a talented company.
Am I the asshole here? For stopping payment on a check I wrote... Chequay. British?
Maybe.
Okay. Am I the asshole here for stopping payment on a check I wrote to homeless charity after overhearing how the money from the fundraiser is to be used? My wife and I attended a fundraiser for a homeless charity recently. Typical kind of thing. Give us some rubber chicken. What?
Give them some rubber chicken.
Okay. Tell us what great work they're doing and how they couldn't do it without us, etc. We've been fortunate enough to be in a position to be able to support a few charities that mean something to us. For myself in particular, it's trying to do something about homelessness for military vets. Good for you. I served a good portion of my life, and it pains me to see a brother or sister struggling after leaving. Anyway, we had a pretty good time at the event. They had a good band that played a great selection of stuff you could dance to. I hope that's what they did. We had to head out a little before midnight, so I went to search out the organizers/hosts. I passed by an open door and heard the voice of the director of the charity telling a few board members how much they raised. I was like, cool, that's a good chunk of cash, that should help. Then this person goes on to say, so that means we each get $31,000 and the balance go in the kitty. I assumed by kitty they mean the charity itself. Charity share would be $31,000 as well. It was all I could do not to charge in and bust some heads. I found my wife and left before I did something terrible. In the truck, I explained to my wife what transpired. She was pretty quiet on the ride home. I got online and was going to put a stop payment on the check when she says maybe we should just let them have the money and never donate again. At least the charity gets something. We went back and forth a bit, and I said I'd think about it, but after she went to bed, I stopped payment on the check. This morning, I got to thinking maybe she has a point, but also nobody fucking steals from me. And I feel like I have been robbed. I'll pound her on it a bit today. I can still
what
stop
did she do?
Monday.
What are you gonna pound her for? What did she do?
Pounder. P-O-U-N-D-R.
Yeah, I'm also reading it.
I believe that means ponder, actually. Also, I'm pretty sure this guy's British as fuck. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'd say not the asshole. You were basically lied to about what the...
Maybe, but it's also hearsay. Like, he overheard a conference room. You know, like, he doesn't know...
Also true.
Somebody points out here that... Is it your take? Do you know that individuals involved are getting $31,000 personally? It could be a couple other things, like every department is getting it, or in cases multiple organizations might do charity benefits, and each organization gets $31K. If it's the individuals, you would need to report that somewhere. And someone else recommends the Charity Navigator to see how charities are rated.
Yeah.
Depending on how it's organized, you might be able to get annual reports and get a better idea how the charity is spending money. So I would look further into it. I would have looked further into it beforehand. But I mean, you're under no obligation to donate to charity, period. So, like, no, you're not the asshole. But I would have looked a little bit more into it first.
Yeah, not the asshole, but you could have done more research.
Yeah. Let's see here. Someone's looking for advice. Well, you found the right guys.
Aw, yeah. Oh, do I read this one too?
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you.
Okay. A random man emailed me claiming to be the father of my baby, and I'm worried. I will try not to waste everyone's time and keep this as short as possible, but for some context, I'm a 25M and have a wife 25F who I married last year. Last July, we welcomed my beautiful baby, and I had no doubt he was mine at the time until 3 hours ago. I got an email from a random man claiming to be the father of my baby boy, and while I was at disbelief at first, he showed evidence of him holding my child on our sofa. Currently, I find myself on the brink of a panic attack, following the tragic loss of both my parents in a fatal car accident and a tumultuous relationship that led me suicidal. I encountered a beacon of hope in my wife, who assisted me in navigating the depths of grief. However, in light of her betrayal, despite her vast knowledge of my past, I feel like a failure. I've never had trust issues with my wife, but would I be an asshole for taking my baby to have a paternity test behind my wife's back? Does anyone have any advice on how I can proceed with this? I would also like to note that I'm a longtime reader of the subreddit, and of course I'm using an alt account. However, I'm aware there are many fake stories, but please, for my sake, just give me advice on how I can proceed with this. Even if you have suspicion it's fake, I would really appreciate it. If you would like to read the email, here it is.
I have that. The picture of him on the sofa was removed by Imgur, but Imgur kept the email. The email reads, "It's time you know the truth about your wife. Hello there, name redacted. My name is also name redacted. I've come to a point where I can't keep hiding the truth about your wife, blank blank, anymore. I know this might be hard for you to hear, and you might resent me for it, but I need to come clean. I had an affair with her. I was fully aware of your relationship. We were together for 2 years, during which I saw the struggles you and her were going through to have a child. Although it's not confirmed, there is a strong possibility I could be the father of your child. You may also think I'm bluffing, but that's not the case. I've met them before, as they tried convincing me to stay, and while I didn't want to abandon the child, I knew I made a grave mistake allowing you to be manipulated, so I couldn't allow you to be misled by your wife. You might be wondering why I'm choosing to disclose this now. The thing is, I recently converted to Islam, and I'm preparing to embark on a pilgrimage to Mecca. It's a journey of spiritual renewal, and part of that process involves seeking forgiveness for past mistakes. I know you may not forgive me, but I hope that by telling you the truth, it can bring you and I some closure. Before I leave, I'd like to meet with you to answer any questions you may have. I understand if you need time to process all this. Take care. Signed, name redacted." That seems pretty genuine to me, honestly.
It does. Yeah,
there's nothing in there. Right. There's nothing in there that really reads like a scam. And as Top Comment says, it would be a very strange thing to make up such a story just to create temporary turmoil in your life. I would get the paternity test.
I would, yeah. I don't think you would be the asshole in that case. You are strictly just covering all of your bases, and if that turns out to be true, then it's something that you can bring up with your wife directly, and you two can kind of hash it out.
Yes.
So I would say
get the paternity test. Get the paternity test, and please write an update post.
Oh yes, absolutely. I hope everything goes well.
Yeah. I don't know. If
it doesn't,
I don't know what going well looks like in this situation, but I hope it goes to your satisfaction.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. All right. My boyfriend, male 37, she's F38, prank broke up with me because he didn't like my reaction. Oh, Oh, and he didn't like... Okay, so the breakup was the prank. Okay. We've been together for 3 years and planning on moving in together before the summer. Everything was amazing, and I have been so excited. He was visiting his family over Easter, and we kept the usual contact, and "I love you, I'll miss you" talk. Then he texted me that he's been having cold feet, and he wasn't sure about us, and it was over. I called him immediately, and he said the same things. I told him we could talk when he got home, but he said it was no use. I texted him later that we should take it when he is back home so we could talk face to face. He wrote, "I'm sorry for hurting you, but it's over." This seemed very final to me, so I wrote, "I understand. Good luck to you." Then I hadn't tried to contact him. A few days later, he called, and I didn't answer. He then texted me to pick up, but I didn't. He came home yesterday and immediately to my apartment, and he was so angry. It was a joke, but he was hurt over how indifferent I acted and gave up so easily. He yelled some more, then left. I'm very heartbroken now. I just believed him and acted accordingly, but he thinks, even if it was true, I should have been more devastated that a beautiful relationship of 3 years had ended, and that I deserved better than "okay, good luck" text. I didn't fight enough for the relationship.
Who the fuck? Your boyfriend's an idiot.
Yeah, I'm with Top Comment. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yeah, super not the fucking asshole. Oh my god. Who does shit like that? Oh my god.
As we've said many times, quit playing games.
Quit doing that shit. Stop doing this shit with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. I am so sick and tired of seeing people do this shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, stop it. Get some help. Anyway, next one.
Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole for hiding food in my room? Why the fuck is it not opening properly? What the fuck? Okay, there it goes. Am I the asshole for hiding food in my room? I'm 17F. I live with my parents, mom and stepdad, and sister, 14. You do not understand the format here.
Mm-hmm.
My stepdad eats so much, I bought a mini fridge and started hiding food in my room. Based. We can easily afford the food, it's not the problem. The problem is that he eats food meant for other people. Okay, yeah, no, completely justify why you got a mini fridge in that case. Like, automatically
Keep
I'm on your
reading.
side. Okay.
No preemptive judgments here.
Okay. He does intermittent fasting and eats when everyone has gone to bed. About 3 months ago, I made a cake for the whole family. It was supposed to be a surprise. I put it in a fridge and covered it with a salad bowl. I woke up to half of it eaten. He ate half a fucking cake! He always apologizes, but says he couldn't help himself. It was so good.
How intermittent is this fasting?
It's a very good question.
I don't think it's intermittent enough. Go on.
Then I bought some bananas and mandarins with my money, but it was for everyone. Bananas were very green. He ate all of them the same day. Half the mandarins were gone. He ate all of the green bananas the same day. Really?
What the fuck?
Wow. Wow, dude must really like his mouth tasting like frickin' cornstarch. My grandmother made some garlic buns for us. There were about 30 pieces. Everyone had 1 or 2. Next morning, there were 5 left. My mother talked to him multiple times, but said at the end of the day she can't do much and can't just tell him not to eat. So I bought a mini fridge. I would bring a little bit of food for me and my sister. It's been great. I haven't been taking a lot, just enough for her and me to have something tasty after he eats everything. I wasn't hiding it, but wasn't telling about it to my mom and stepdad either. When my mom and stepdad found out yesterday, they were really upset and said I'm being disrespectful. When I explained why I was doing it, they said it's still not the reason to hide food. My sister was on my side. No,
I don't understand how this is disrespectful, but him eating half your cake wasn't.
Half your cake, all the bananas, half the mandarins, fucking all the fucking garlic buttons. Not the asshole. What the hell?
Is this the 6 fried eggs and an orange guy? Is he back?
It might be. It might be the same guy. He's back, and this time he has a family.
Coming soon to ABC, a new season of 6 fried eggs and an orange guy. Sunny side down. That's still one of my favorite segments, was 6 fried eggs and an orange guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Anyway, no, you're not the asshole now.
Dude, I would have done that. Like, I personally would have done something like that.
Especially if you're buying the food, like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, it's food that you're buying with your money, and while it is meant for everyone, he is taking like over half of it for himself.
Yeah.
Constantly, like it's just stupid. Just you're not the asshole.
It's dumb and stupid and dumb, and unlike it. Anyway, next one. Am I the asshole here for calling my ex's girlfriend of less than a year a predator pedo after finding out she's been taking baths with my 8-year-old daughter? Interesting. I, 39F, ex-husband 40M, and I were together for close to 10 years. We'll call him Andy. Andy and I have 2 kids together, an 8F and 5M. We've been separated since September of 2022. No plans to divorce anytime soon due to costs and time, and we've had the custody situation handled by ourselves. I get the kids throughout the week, he gets them on the weekends. We live about 5 minutes away from each other, each of us living with family. Andy started dating this girl who lives about an hour and a half to 2 hours away less than a year ago. Let's call her Bridget. Bridget has a 9M, Jacob, and comes up on the weekends. I had no issues with her. I did not try to get to know her personally, but I know what the kids have told me, and she seems to be really good to them, and that's all that mattered to me. We were not enemies or anything like that, just kind of indifferent towards each other. She came to my kids' birthday parties I threw for them, and I thought all was well. That was until a few weeks ago. It was Saturday, and Andy sent me a text telling me he had just left the ER and had the flu. I went to pick the kids up ASAP. On the way home, I was asking my daughter what all she had done that day, and she replied saying it was just like every other weekend. She played with Jacob and her brother, she did makeup with Bridget, and then they took a bath. The way she said it made me feel the need to ask if they each took their own baths, or did Bridget stay with her in the bathroom to help if needed. That's when my daughter tells me they take a bath or shower together all the time. My mom was in the car too, and judging from her face, I knew I wasn't tripping by being absolutely speechless about what I had just heard. But not wanting to cause a scene, I didn't make a big deal about it. But I did tell my daughter that I didn't want her to ever take another bath with Bridget ever again. I was so blown away. I've got a history of being abused sexually by a close family member my whole childhood. He's dead now. I always said that I would never put my kids in a position where that might happen. In fact, my kids have never even been left alone with anyone other than my ex and I and our parents. Come to find out, though, Andy has been working on Saturday afternoons, leaving them with Bridget, which is when the baths occurred. Andy was well aware of what was happening, though. Given the flu diagnosis and my emotions being so high, I waited until the next day to say something about it. I asked what was up with his girlfriend and why the fuck she would be wanting to take baths with my child and why the hell he would sit back and let that happen. That's when he tried to act like my daughter was the blame. We'll name my daughter Lennox and my son
Lennox.
Asher. Where are you getting these names? Lennox. What? Anyway, so he starts trying to tell me about how Lennox, that's the girl, by the way, in case you were confused, just goes in there when Bridget is in the shower and she begs her to let her in. I don't believe that for 1 second, but I just told him that they make door locks for a reason, and if Chick didn't want Lennox to be in there, remember that's the girl, with her, she wouldn't be as simple as that. I also made sure to let him know just how unreasonable, inappropriate, and predatory the whole thing seemed to me. In what world is any 30-something woman going to actively want to take a bath with an 8-year-old girl and for it not to be for nefarious reasons? Andy had 2 kids already when him and I got together, and coincidentally enough, they were the same age as my kids are now. I reminded him how in all our years together, they never so much as saw me in my underwear, let alone be naked in a room with me, and just how gross that is, and how much my sense of safety for the kids when they're with him has been shattered. He said it would never happen again. I said if it did, I wouldn't call to talk about it again. So 2 weeks go by, and my kids are on spring break. Lennox, girl, wanted to stay at Andy's Monday night, but Asher wanted to come home, so we picked them up. After being home for a few hours, before dinner gets started, I'm putting things away in my closet, and Asher is sitting on the staircase right beside me. Out of the blue, he tells me that Bridget doesn't sleep with clothes on. I asked him how he knew that. He said 'cause he saw it. Once again, my mother was there to hear it, too. Instead of waiting, I immediately went to the phone and asked him why he's trying to date a pedo, because now my other child is talking about his girlfriend's vagina, too. Of course, it's all a misunderstanding. Asher is making a bigger deal about it than it really is. He said that she was wearing his boxers and they happened to ride up, to which I replied by asking if her vagina was that big or would it be hanging out of some shorts that rode up. I also reminded him that I too have a vagina and love shorts. Being 5'10", all legs. Wow, okay.
Okay.
Weird brag, but okay. I know all about shorts riding up, and never once have I worried about my vagina hanging out. Also, he only wears boxer briefs, so if she was really wearing his, then that must mean her vagina is too big to be contained, and that this is the very last time I will ever hear about this bitch's body from my kids again, and that I do not want this predator around my kids. Bridget hasn't been up here the last 2 weekends, but her and Andy both have been crying to Lennox about how it's all my fault, and she can't come up here to see her anymore. Am I the asshole here? Does this not seem totally suspicious, or do I just think twisted as Andy has tried... Do I just think twisted as Andy has tried to think twisted? That's an expression. Edit, we live in the U.S. She was born and raised in the South. Okay. Here's the thing. Some cultures do this. Like...
Oh, yeah, dude. It's super common in Japanese cultures for parents to bathe with their children. That is, like, a super common thing you see in, like, anime and, like, Japanese dramas all the time.
Yeah, they do it in the South. They do it in Asian countries. Mutual bathing is a huge thing in most Asian cultures.
Yeah, it's just another... It's oftentimes just seen as another form of...
Bonding.
Like, bonding and skinship. And it's not considered anything weird in a lot of these cultures. Honestly, this just sounds like a very different cultural background that she came from, and it just comes off as weird because it's not something from your cultural background.
Yes.
It's not that she's necessarily a pedophile predator, it's just that's how she was raised, and that's how she views nudity as just being a very casual thing.
Now, obviously we're going against the zeitgeist here, because the common response on this post, and I think most people's response, is going to be like, well, yeah, obviously. Of course she's a pedophile. Call child services immediately. And
I mean,
I'm not discounting that possibility, but
yeah,
I'm also
like,
I'm
there
also
is a possibility there.
but I'm also acknowledging that this is a standard thing in many cultures, including the South, where she's from, and the fact that it is girlfriend less of a year. It's like, I don't know how serious that relationship is. You know, I don't know. The thing to me is the way she's describing it. Here's the thing. You would think this woman sincerely believes that this other woman is a pedophile, right? So,
yeah,
and she's writing about what her own kids have told her. You would think that in this situation she would be trying to, like, maybe not exaggerate isn't the right word, but like call attention to any like signs they would be giving her that something was happening, right? You'd think that would be like highlighted. But the way she writes it, it sounds so benign. And this is a person with a vested interest in getting us to believe what she believes, and it still comes across as relatively benign to me. So from that perspective, I'm thinking, I'm not convinced anything nefarious is actually happening here. I think this is cultural differences, and I'm not qualified to talk about what your entitlements are here, given you're not divorced yet, but you are separated, and you've been separated for a long time.
Yeah.
But these are your children. I don't know what exactly the rights are in this situation. I'm not a lawyer. But what I will say is, just based on what you have written, and again, admitting that I could be wrong, I don't know this situation any more than what's been written here. It doesn't sound like anything is happening, and I don't like people that immediately jump to this conclusion. I think I think in general, and I want to preface this, in general, in broad strokes, the mass pedo hunt that society has been on the past 15-ish years has, while it has resulted in some good, has been kind of a net negative for how we interact with each other. And this is, I think, another example. From what I've read, I think this is another example of that. And again, admitting I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Very well then. Like, that's kind of the thing about this whole Reddit dive situation, is that, you know what, sometimes we might read shit wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And things might be different from what we're reading into them. But, like, that's just kind of the matter of... That's just kind of the state of the matter.
Yeah.
Considering... two guys at computer chairs.
That's true. What I'm saying is my alarm bells have not gone off reading all of this, and I don't want to be a part of a society that is so aggressively paranoid that we can't accept what is utterly benign in most contexts, you know.
Also, I want to point out, you had the opportunity and the ability to speak directly with this woman about what she's doing, why she's doing it, and, you know, all these, like, her justifications for it or whatever, and you chose not to. That's another thing. Like, you have avoided communication regarding this as much as humanly possible, and that's also causing an issue.
Yeah.
So,
I like, my judgment here is I think, okay, the question is, am I the asshole for calling her a predator after finding out she's taking a bath? I don't know enough about this situation to definitively say what is right. All I can do is evaluate your behavior with the way you have written it here. And in that context, I'm going to say, yes, I think you're kind of the asshole, and you're paranoid and you're jumping guns. Maybe you're right, maybe you're not right. I can't say that, but I don't think you can say that either. So
yeah, strictly on the word and on the word and context of what you've given us, I would hedge on you are the asshole.
Yeah,
personally.
Like, if there was anything to cling to here, and again, this would be writing from this perspective, they would be the ones to tell us if there was any, like, damning evidence. But I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. It just seems too benign. And again, from the perspective of someone who is trying to convince us that it's a problem. Yeah. And I don't think you handled it the right way. I think you're paranoid, and I think you're a part of a paranoid culture.
Yeah.
Let's get off that one.
All right. Yeah, that one just makes me feel weird. Yeah, don't like that.
Well, I think you're the
That's not a fun one. Well, we got an asshole one, but at what cost?
I gave you what you wanted. Shut up. Anyway, let's see here. Hold on. Damn it! Stop unhighlighting. I'm trying to highlight then copy paste. Here you go.
Highlight. Am I the asshole here for disowning? Motherfucker! Can Reddit stop? Okay. Am I the asshole here for disowning my cousin after he stole $2,000 from me when he was a teenager? I was 16 at the time and he was 15. I'll call him Jack. The Lego Maniac?
No, that's Zach.
Okay. Well, it was also Jack that one time, but it's mostly Zach.
I'm not sure what it is now, though.
Yeah. We were actually pretty good friends and would often visit each other and hang out together. Everything changed after we had this family barbecue. My cousin slipped into my bedroom and stole the money from my drawer. I thought it was him because he was the only one who knew I kept some cash in there. Plus, my sister said she saw him leaving my room when we were outside enjoying the barbecue. She didn't think anything of it at the time because she knows we often spend time in my room playing video games and hanging out. Hence, she didn't tell me that day or confront him about it. 2 days after the gathering, I phoned him asking if he wanted to go out to the cinema. He sounded different on the phone, now I know it was guilt, and said he didn't feel like hanging out. I decided to go with other friends and was confused when I couldn't find my money. I asked my family if anyone had been in my room and told them that there was money missing. My sister said that she saw Jack leaving my room during our barbecue. I phoned Jack and asked him why he went into my room. He said he thought he forgot his hat in there from last time he was over. I wasn't convinced and pressed him about the money. He denied it completely. Well, yeah, of course he is. I visited him at his place and confronted him face to face. He kept denying it, but looked guilty as hell. It's a pretty big tell there. That's when I made up my mind to completely cut him off. I told him that he was dead to me. A few weeks later, he admitted it, but said he couldn't pay me back because he spent it on a computer and that I should just forgive him. I said I'm happy to forgive him, but he needs to pay me back the money. We argued, and that was the end of our relationship. I told my family about what happened, and they spoke to his parents about it. It was a big drama, and in order to make peace, his parents said that they would sell the computer and give me back the money. He begged them not to, and made a big fuss about it. My parents ended up telling me to just let it go, and I didn't end up getting any money back. He contacted me last week and wanted to talk. He said he wanted to make peace, but can't afford to pay me back. I don't want to make peace. He can afford to pay me back, and he hasn't truly changed, in my opinion. Am I being too harsh?
Okay, I'm a little confused here because the title said when he was a teenager. When is
this sounds very recent.
When is now? Like what's
like yeah? How long has this happened? Like what's the time frame?
Hold on. It was 20 years ago.
What the fuck?
I'm reading the second comment. He said about 2K 20 years ago isn't 2K today. Even if you pay me back, it wouldn't make up. 20 years? You've been holding on to this for 20 years?
Holy shit.
I'm calling statute of limitations, honestly.
I feel like at this point, you should probably just kind of have it be water under the bridge or whatever. Because, like, here's the thing. Even if someone did that to me, and I am somebody who, values money quite a bit, being a poor fuck, sure. But if somebody did that to me, and 20 years later they tried to contact me again about the whole thing, I would probably look at the whole thing, laugh my ass off that he's still guilty about the whole thing, and be like, dude, that was 20 years ago. You want to go out for, like, beers?
Yeah, I'm just... After 20 fucking years, it just kind of makes you look like the petty one, honestly.
It really does. It really does.
I'm going with everyone sucks here.
Everyone sucks here. Yeah.
Yeah. He
sucks for, like, stealing the cash and, like, denying it, but you also suck for holding a grudge for this fucking long.
Yeah, also, I know they brought it up, but, like, if he had just opened with, yeah, here's your $2,000, it's been 20 years. That $2,000 is a lot less than it was back then, so he would have he still would have cashed out, inflation and all that. The fact that he still wants to make up without paying anything, though, I mean, I mean, yeah, I said everyone sucks here. They both suck. I'm just for different reasons.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, everyone sucks here.
Yeah. My chest hurts.
Fuck all y'all bitches.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago. Holy shit.
What? Hold on.
Oh, is this a confusing one?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. I don't know. I'm having like heartburn or something's going on. I don't know. Let's see here.
It's cancer. It's finally getting you.
Yeah.
WebMD told me.
Yeah, I'm having a minor pain in my cancer. Go to WebMD because you feel your fucking finger feels funny. I diagnose you with death. Yeah, I don't. This one doesn't have enough details. I'm not reading that one.
Okay. Sometimes it'd be like that.
Who read the last one? I forget.
I read the last one.
Okay.
So this one's all you, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, am I the asshole for taking my mom to court? Am I the asshole here? When I was 10, my dad passed away. I received $100,000 from the estate when I turned 18. His life insurance... Ooh, nice. His life insurance policy was $150,000, none of which I received. I was unaware of this money, and my mother kept it hidden well. When I asked about it, she was extremely defensive and didn't want to discuss it with me. At the time of my dad's death, my parents had been divorced for a number of years. I was his next of kin with no other siblings. The life insurance policy stated that the money goes to the next of kin at 18 years of age, which is me. Now I'm debating taking her to court, but I don't want to seem greedy. It's not necessarily about the money, even though the money would be nice. It's about the fact that she lied and hid it from me when I was going through one of the hardest times of my life. So am I the asshole? Let's be honest, it's also a little about the money.
It's absolutely, it's $100,000 and it's meant for you, and she's stealing it despite the fact that she, like, her and her husband were separated for years before he died.
Consult an attorney.
Absolutely consult an attorney. You would not be the asshole. You were completely within your rights.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, you have a strong legal case here.
This ain't $2,000. This is $250,000.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's one for you.
Bobbity bobbity boo boo boo. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my niece at the last minute?
What, before impact?
Oh God, it's coming!
It is I, the niece slayer.
My sister, let's call her Emma, has a habit of dropping her plans at my doorstep like a surprise package. She often asks me to babysit her daughter, my niece, with very little notice. I usually agree because I adore my niece and understand that life as a single parent can be like juggling chainsaws. Yeah. However, last weekend was different. I had plans for a relaxing evening at home, diving into a good book I'd been itching to read for weeks. Just as I was settling in, Emma called, asking to babysit because she had a sudden invitation to a dinner party. This time I decided to stand my ground and told her I couldn't do it. She tried to guilt-trip me, saying I was letting her down and that family should always be there for each other, but I felt like I needed to draw a line in the sand for my own sanity. The situation blew up, and now Emma is giving me the cold shoulder, making me feel like I'm the villain in her story. Our parents think I was too harsh and should have just helped out this once more. So am I the asshole for wanting one evening to myself and refusing to babysit last minute, or is it fair to expect my sister to respect my time as well?
Okay, here's the thing.
You're not the asshole.
Here's the thing. I'm looking through all the comments. I can't find this information. I'm going info here because I want to know how old is this kid. Because in my mind, if this kid is like older than 5, there's no reason you can't read your fucking book. You know, just keep an eye on them. But
that is true.
You know,
that is true. Like I've you know me, I've helped raise kids, and after about age 5 or 6 or 7 or so, they're pretty much free range. You can just kind of like give them like
if they're out of fucking diapers, you can read a book. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like give them a game system, have them watch TV or whatever the fuck. Just like give them something to go fuck off and do something with, and they'll do it.
Yeah, just check in on them every now and again. It's fine.
Yeah, just like every 30 minutes, be like, I'm finished with this chapter. I should go check in on them. Are you doing okay? All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then move back.
And I'm sure they'll be fine. They're playing Fork Knife on the iPad.
Yeah, it's not... It's believe it or not, babysitting a kid who's like, 6 or 7 is not that hard of a situation to handle.
Yeah.
One kid, that's easy. That's easy shit.
Yeah, so I don't have enough info to make a judgment on this. I read through the comments.
Info.
I can't find the info, honestly. Because if this kid's like 8 years old, like, no, you could have done it.
You could have easily done that and still had your very relaxing... And like, you like the kid anyway. You like spending time with him. So it's like,
just tell them, hey, I'm going to be over here reading my book. You can watch TV, whatever. Just don't break anything.
Right. Yeah. Like that's something you can do with kids. Like just, set boundaries and rules for the night. And
a lot of the times they would prefer you do that,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
dude, when I was... Dude, every single time that I, look after my sibling's oldest, that's basically just how we operated, and it worked great. So, yeah, info.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we can't make a judgment here. Anyway, next time. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's family off? I, 25F, have the most loving boyfriend ever, Noah, fake name, 26M. Why'd he give you a fake name? Although I believe I may have been an asshole, but just a little bit, or maybe a lot. That's for us to decide. We'll make the decisions around here. We are the deciders. I made a mistake, but I didn't think it would affect our relationship all that much, as I believed he loved me, and I loved him. We had our rough patches, but that's exactly what they were, rough patches. This was a bit bumpier than the others, but I believed we were fine afterwards. For context, my ex hated animals. I absolutely love and adore them. I'm an assistant veterinarian. Well, then I hope you like animals. I'm an assistant veterinarian, but secretly I hate animals, especially Mushu.
Mushu.
Then why'd you become an assistant veterinarian?
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
Why'd you become an assistant veterinarian? I don't know you well enough to get into that. Anyway, there was an injured pooch that had no home brought in, and no one had the space to take him. I decided to bring him into my home to help him heal and feel some semblance of comfort because no one wanted to take him, and I absolutely loved him, even though I know Noah hated dogs and animals in general. We had a fight about it, but eventually said it was fine as long as Nubsy stays in his crate. He is crate trained. Noah is awesome overall. He's sweet and loving and a really kind person. We've been dating for 5 years. We met in the gym. Recently, we've been having problems in our relationship because of how late he works multiple nights a week for the past 3 months, and it's usually with his coworker Sammy, whom I do not trust whatsoever. He told me not to worry, that he loves me and only me. I believed him because I had no reason not to. I found out 2 weeks ago that he's been cheating on me for the past 4 months. Couldn't believe it. I was hurt. I still am, but I forgave him, and we've been in couples counseling. Okay, well, there you go. That's your choice.
All right.
Well, here's where I may be the asshole. Yesterday, Nubsy made an accident in the house. I was out at work due to an emergency call. Well, I come home and find that Nubsy is locked in the spare room. I yelled at Noah about leaving Nubsy alone as he has abandonment issues. We fought for a good 15 minutes before he mentioned that he already tolerates Nubsy enough, and I went on a rant about how horrible dogs are. Now here's why I may have been the asshole. Noah said dogs are predators, you never know when they might go rogue and bite you, and I said, well, at least dogs are loyal. He went silent after that and left the house. His family has been blowing up my phone for the past 24 hours. His mother especially. His mother has hated me since I met him. She sent me a long paragraph on how I'm a bitch and an asshole, and how Noah's been completely broken, and I'm the cause of it. And the reason he cheated on was not because I'm not paying enough attention to him, and I don't fulfill all her son's needs, etc., etc. I told her, Shannon, I'm not going to listen to a woman who blames her husband for leaving her, even though she's the one who cheated.
Oh.
Now I feel horrible. Should I have said that? Am I the asshole? I love him and do want to make this work, but it just hurts. There's a lot going on here.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Like I don't want to get too hung up on the dog thing. This guy could have a childhood trauma with a dog or whatever. That happens, you know.
That's whatever. But like the biggest issue here is and the other thing is I don't want
some people might be like, well, he can't say that. He cheated on you. He's in the red in this relationship. And I'm like, yeah. I don't think it's healthy to hang that over someone if you've decided to work through it. You know.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
if you've gone to if you've gone to couples counseling about the whole thing and like you're trying to work through it or whatever, it's kind of unfair to hang that over him.
Yeah, I think it's unhealthy to say this guy doesn't get to be right about anything ever again because he cheated. I think that's unhealthy.
It's completely, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say everyone sucks here because I think on multiple levels everyone here could have handled the situation better.
So much better. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh god. The top comment is making me sick with how much projection is going on. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. That's the Reddit common experience.
I'm pulling the escape lever. We're getting out of here.
Quick, onwards to the next one.
Yep. More relationship troubles, but don't worry, Dr. Zeke and Kevin are here to help. Welcome back to Love Line with Zeke and Kevin. You're on air.
Hi, my name is Tin Pan Alley 78. Am I the asshole for not Am I the asshole for not contacting my girlfriend after she gave me the silent treatment and sulked for hours when I tried to set a boundary? I, 45, have been dating my girlfriend, 42, for a bit more than 2 years. You know what? Massive respect for you for being in your 40s and still being in the dating scene. Good on you.
I would have given up.
She can be very sweet, funny, and affectionate. But I feel like she can sometimes have disrespectful and childish behaviors towards me. We live separately, but 5 minutes apart, so here's what happened.
What, are you in the same apartment building?
So here's what... It's like the fucking SpongeBob, like Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob being separated, and, like, it's just a grill. When they're, like, across the street from each other.
Yep.
So here's what happened. The plan for the afternoon was to go to band practice together and then go back to my place for dinner and for the night. Spelled practice with an S. British alert.
British.
I picked her up. She was seemingly upset about her workday and all the things she felt she hadn't been able to accomplish during the day. She was very snappy and gave me the short, sharp answers when I tried to help her pack her things and during the drive, complaining about everything, including me. At what point I told her literally, "Babe, it seems like you've had a rough day, and I get it, but it's no reason to talk to me like that." She didn't say a word for the rest of the trip. When we arrived at our rehearsal space, she didn't help carry our gear or even hold the doors for me. She kept being snappy and ignoring me for the most part during practice. At one point, we were alone in the room, and I asked her, "Are you okay? Seems you're upset." And she snapped back, "Yes, I'm upset, but you told me to shut up, so I guess you're happy now that I'm not talking to you anymore." Oh. On the ride home, more of the silent treatment. We were getting close to my place, and I told her, "I'm driving you home." She said, "So you're punishing me instead of trying to talk it through?" I replied, "I want peace. I'm driving you home." I went back to my place and haven't heard from her since or tried to make contact. It was 3 days ago. Top comments, absolutely perfect. Not the asshole. Are you sure she's 42 and not 12?
So, I wasn't paying attention, so I'm just going to assume you're not the asshole. I just want to point out that this comment has exactly 999 upvotes, so I'm going to be number 1K. Bam.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I never get to do that. I don't even care about answering this.
So
yeah,
good.
You're not the asshole. I don't care what you did. Anyway, moving on. Kevin can give it a shot.
No, yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. You're not the asshole. She's being extremely immature. Fucking go off.
Yep. Let's see here. Am I the asshole here for not being comfortable letting my boyfriend go to the strip club for his birthday?
Oh, man. Come on, man.
Let him go up in the club, popping bottles. Anyway. I'm a 21F. My boyfriend is a 21, turning 22M. We've been together for 3 years, and his birthday is today, 6 days ago. We had a conversation a couple days ago discussing whether or not I was comfortable with him going to a strip club for his birthday. Well, at least he had the courtesy to ask first. I told him no, but he kept asking so I had to tell him no is a no, and I'm not going to change my mind. I also told him that if he went, I would end things with him because he is deliberately doing something I was not comfortable with. Today's his birthday. He texted me saying, There's nothing for me to do. I'm not going out depressed on my birthday. My friends want me to go to the club, and I do too, but you don't want me to do anything. And I told him that I wasn't having the same strip club conversation again because I wasn't changing my mind. And he replied that his friends are saying that I'm overreacting, and I thought about it, but today is about me and my friends having a good time. And I told him, okay, then have fun. If he plans on going to the strip club, I intend on ending things with him, but he will say that I ruined his birthday and that I'm overreacting. Am I the asshole? I like how Top Comment sums it up. No future in this relationship. Start over.
Yeah, just freaking... No.
You clearly want different things or have different comfort levels about different things here.
Yeah,
Okay, I like this comment. I'm just gonna steal this from Mullum Bimbo 89. This is an important part of being in your 20s, and I don't mean sitting at home waiting for your boyfriend to come back from the strip club. I mean dumping someone whose values are just not aligned with yours, both in wanting to go and in his behavior around you saying no. This man is not right for you. He won't just go once and get it out of his system. He has repeatedly nagged you to get you to agree to this time. Well done for not giving in, and he doesn't care that any agreement from you would be coerced. How somebody responds to a boundary or the word no is a really crucial aspect of any relationship and tells you a lot about them as a person. Yeah, I'm not trying... Unlike this guy, I'm not trying to necessarily judge him for what he wants. But I will say that how he reacts to this boundary is concerning. So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I would say you're not necessarily the asshole here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not the asshole.
Yeah, not the asshole.
That's your position to take, and
for
the sake of the relationship, that was the again, it comes back to, it's like the fucking first one we did. It's like your values and what you're comfortable with has to kind of be aligned, at least in large swaths, at least in broad strokes, you know.
And this is like this is a big one for the both of you, and if it's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. Like,
yeah,
it's just how some relationships work.
Mm-hmm. Next one.
Yep. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing a shot at a hotel bar from a stranger? Am I
a little off key, but he's got the spirit.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for refusing a shot at a hotel bar from a stranger? I, 24F, was recently on a work trip in a city a few hours from my home. On the last night of the trip, my boss and a couple of colleagues went down to the hotel bar to have a couple drinks and discuss the trip. We'd been there for about an hour when the bartender comes over and asks me if I'd like a shot. I said no thank you, and she said, "Are you sure? I think a stranger really wants to buy it for you." I again stated that it was a kind offer, but no thank you, as I didn't want to take shots in front of my boss, lol. Apparently this really upset the guy, and the bartender told me I should feel bad because apparently he was a regular and that he might never come back. She also said I could have just taken it because it was rude to turn it down. I know I was already having a drink, but I thought a shot in front of the boss wouldn't be a great look. I really don't think I was in the wrong, but I'm curious to know what others think. You're not the asshole.
Yeah, no.
Top comment's pretty good about this. Not the asshole. 1. Never take a drink from a stranger. This is true. 2. Ask directly on the Twitter account of the bar if it's their policy to shame women for refusing a stranger a drink because he is a regular. That would be my move. Yeah, it's more than a little weird that you were being, like, directly shamed because you denied a shot bought from this regular. Like, that's more than a little weird there, champ. So, not the asshole.
Yeah, I think it's more a situation where the better way for them to approach it would be to just go up and ask you if you want a drink. You know?
Yeah.
Don't try to use the bartender as an intermediary.
Right, like the way that, like, buying a drink or buying a shot for someone at a bar works is you go up to them and say, "Hey, can I buy you something?"
Sure.
And it kind of goes on from there.
Yeah, the fact that you're using the bartender as an intermediary to shame them makes me think that maybe something else is going on here.
Yeah, that's incredibly suspicious. I say you're not the asshole here. You made the right call.
Yeah. All right. Am I the asshole here for telling my boyfriend I didn't want to refer his female friend to my company because she was a pick-me? A pick-me girl.
Pick me, girl.
Anyway, We're in our 20s for reference. I'm going to need a little more data there, but you do you. My boyfriend Jace has a group of friends he's had since high school. Ellie is the only girl in that group. I don't have a problem with men and women being friends. I'm going to assume the rest of this Reddit post is going to illustrate exactly why you have a problem with that, but okay. I believe you can definitely have a great platonic relationship with someone of the opposite sex, but that is not Ellie. She is practically out of a pick-me handbook. For example, she teased me about being all dressed up to go to the movies while everyone else was wearing normal clothes and said I made Jace late. I was just wearing a dress which took less effort than anyone's outfit, and Jace was the one who ran late. She has commented on my makeup before and said in a sly way that she had no idea how to do makeup and she had no idea how I could wear so much every day. She was wearing BB cream, mascara, eyeliner, and a lip tint. I'm not blind. She always focuses on the boys who have girlfriends. She made a comment about how she's lucky I'm not insecure like other girlfriends. Yesterday, Jace told me that Ellie was laid off and asked if I would refer her to my job. I can tolerate her in a large group setting, but I would not want to work with her. She has made underhand comments about my work. I work in marketing and analytics. So I made the excuse that we're in two different fields, and I'm sure it would be better to ask someone who was more like Ellie. He pushed and asked why I wouldn't do it, as it's out of character for me. I finally told him that it was because she was a pick-me with internalized misogyny. No one wants to work or hang out with someone like that. Anyway, Ellie found out I wasn't giving her a referral and sent me her resume. She said she was desperate for a job and it would benefit me if she got it. Am I the asshole here for not referring her? Okay, look. If you don't like her on a personal level, that's fine, you know? And if you don't want to work with her, that's also fine. All this other projection going on here, I don't like.
Yeah.
You know, I think you have stereotyped her in your mind, and I think you're projecting a lot of things that may or may not be there. But also, who fucking cares? You know, I just don't like siding with anyone who uses phrases like internalized misogyny and all sorts.
Yeah.
So, right, I don't think you're the asshole for not referring her. I do think you're kind of the asshole for being this judgmental.
Yeah, but like, we're going strictly off of the prompt here, and on strictly the prompt, you are not the asshole.
Yeah,
you are the asshole.
You are a asshole, but not the asshole.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Here we go.
All right. Oh, that's the same
God
one.
Damn it. Why copy paste only works sometimes?
Why be you when you can be new?
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
All right. Am I the asshole for asking my sister if I should tell her kids to put clothes on? Okay, so I know this post is essentially just asking for trouble, but please be civil.
Don't tell me what to do.
So I, 17F, babysat my twin niece and nephew, 4M and 4F. Today I went to go make them food, and when I came back, they were both in their play area playing with their toys, completely naked.
All right.
I asked them where their clothes were, and they laughed. I told them they should put them back on, and they said, "Nope." That's funny.
What are you gonna do? Shoot us?
So I called my sister and asked what to do. I got the sense she was stressed because she was kind of mean about it and told me they do it all the time normally and not to be a weirdo and make it awkward since they're children. I just said okay and hung up. Not gonna lie, that took the wind out of my sails for the rest of the afternoon. But for what it's worth, she got back. She told me she was terribly sorry for responding like that and shouldn't have expressed her thoughts like that, and gave me a hug and thanked me very much for babysitting them. And am I the asshole for how I responded to their behavior? That's normal kid behavior. Yeah. I'm gonna be completely real with you. Mm-hmm. Kids that young, they do that shit all the time, and a fair amount of the time, it's a sensory thing. Kids don't like the feeling of clothes on them, so they take them off because it feels better, and they don't.
We are but animals.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it is such an innocent and non-problematic thing that you are making into a problem.
Yeah. Another effect of this paranoid society.
Right. Yeah. I say you're the asshole.
Yeah. Now what you should have done is leverage it into asking for a raise. Oh, this was. Excuse me, this wasn't in the job description. I'm gonna need some additional compensation for this ordeal, if you know what I'm saying.
Hashtag always be hustling.
Oh yeah, she on that grind set. Anyway, yeah, you're the asshole.
Yeah.
Chill out, man.
People need to fucking relax already. Jesus Christ.
Oh. Am I the asshole for suspecting my wife of infidelity because she said that...
Actually, I'm sorry. I just remembered. There's literally an episode of Rugrats about this.
Oh,
watch the Naked Tommy episode and then come back.
Am I the asshole for... Am I the asshole for suspecting my wife of infidelity because she said that for her cheating is not the worst thing that could happen in a relationship? No, I agree. There are far worse things.
Yeah, there are
worse things.
There are literally worse things in a relationship that can happen.
Anyway, I, 41M, have been married for 7 years to my wife, 39F. We are child-free by choice. We have a great, stable marriage without major quarrels or disagreements, full of respect, tenderness, and passion. But
no.
I wish, but that's not how it actually transitions. My wife is a very intelligent, successful woman, and I admire her very much. She has a calm character and it is not in the habit of judging other people. She often mentions how annoyed she is by how easily her young students, she's a university professor, pass moral judgments and call anything they don't like toxic. Well, I'm liking her. I'm like, she's saying the right things. Yeah. It also always surprised me that she really has no jealous bone in her body. For example, whenever I texted her that I was going out to lunch with a female colleague from work, she would write back, "Okay, honey, have fun." She never inquired about where I was when I went out with friends or stuff like that. Of course, I've never cheated on her or did anything that would break her trust. Last week, me and my wife were having drinks with her close friends. The subject of infidelities came up. I think it started when some friend said that her sister just found out that her husband cheated on her. Everyone began to talk about their experiences, opinions, emotions related to cheating. That's when my wife said that she personally doesn't think cheating is the worst thing a partner could do to her, and that she would be able to forgive infidelity as long as it was a one-time thing and not an affair that dragged on for months on end, but that she would rather just never find out about it. I disbelieved her at first. I asked what kinds of things she considered worse evils than cheating. She said she doesn't consider infidelity to be evil at all, just a hurtful decision based on character flaws, and that, in general, she doesn't consider many things evil. She said personally it would be harder for her to forgive abuse, humiliation, or lack of support from a partner in a situation where she really needed it. I relate this conversation in detail because it was the cause of everything that happened afterwards. I couldn't understand my wife's perspective, and I thought from the beginning that something like this could only be said by someone who has cheated themselves or was currently cheating, and wanted...
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, boy. Look, okay, unlike Kevin, I don't like to do the thing where halfway through the post I become convinced of their assholery and start reading it like an asshole, so I'm going to try really hard to read this as genuine as possible.
Okay.
But just know, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I told her that I now find it hard to believe that she is faithful to me. I asked her if she cheated on me, she wouldn't tell me about it either because she herself, quote, would rather not find out. She said the question made no sense because she would never cheat on me, that she was only talking about her own opinion and knows that my opinion is different and that I consider infidelity a deal breaker. I said I can't believe her. She said that she would never again reveal any of her opinions to me on any serious topic if my reaction is to accuse her. She started crying and immediately went to the bathroom to calm herself down. I wanted to go after her, but her friend stopped me and told me to give her some time to be alone and cry it out. They told me that she is speaking from experience because her previous long-term partner had cheated on her and she forgave him. They broke up a couple years later because he wanted children and she didn't. These friends have known her much longer than I do, and they said that as far as they know, she was never unfaithful to me or to anyone else. When my wife came back, I apologized to her and she accepted. The rest of the evening went on as normal. We returned home and went to bed, but I couldn't fall asleep. All the time I had doubts. I could not stop thinking about what my wife said and about our whole relationship in general. What if the reason she's never jealous is because she herself has been cheating for years, only she doesn't care because she doesn't consider it evil? It's like that thought became stuck in my head and I couldn't get it out. I reached for my wife's phone, it's not password protected, and started looking for potential lovers, scrolling through her messages and emails. I didn't find anything suspicious and was about to give up when my wife woke up. She saw what I was doing and didn't even say anything. She just looked very sad. She stood up, picked up her laptop, unlocked it, and put it in front of me. She said, "Search it too, if you want," or something like that. I immediately apologized, closed the laptop, and put away the phone. I hugged her and told her that I love her. We went back to sleep. Since that situation, she is quiet and cold. She talks to me normally, but something feels off. I know what I did was wrong, and I apologized for it, but was it really that big a deal? Wasn't I at least a little justified because of what she said?
I love how this guy, she literally says, point blank, there are worse things that you can do in a relationship than cheating on somebody, and one of those things I think was like betraying your trust, and he proceeded to do exactly that.
This is a fucking Shakespearean tragedy.
You suck, buddy.
Your wife sounds really... Not wife. Yeah, wife. Your wife sounds really cool and rational and level-headed. And it sounds like she actually has, you know... Like, I'm right there with her. You know,
she's got a real... Honestly, I feel like she has a super healthy mindset about this.
I'm going to be entirely real here, as opposed to the fake thing I always am. I think she's too smart for you, honestly.
Legitimately, like, she's really thought about this, and she kind of understands that there's a tier to how, like, relationships work and how, like, certain things, you know, affect relationships, and it's completely realistic and believable and understandable even that she's like, oh yeah, if like my boyfriend has like a quick fling with some hot thing, that's whatever, but like,
well,
you know, if it's a long-term affair.
Well, also, it's also, as she said, it's not evil. It's a hurtful decision based on character flaws and circumstance. You know?
Yeah. Because, like, there are multiple reasons why somebody cheats on their significant other. Maybe their significant other isn't giving them what they need out of the relationship. Maybe there's some personal issue between the two of them that isn't being worked out.
Yeah, it's not it's not evil. It's not abuse or neglect or fucking rape. You know, it's hurtful, but for a different. It's for different reasons, but it's all, you know. She has a very rational and nuanced perspective on the matter, and you don't. You sound like a paranoid wreck. You sound very insecure.
Yeah, and like I was willing to give this guy like the benefit of the doubt and be like, okay, maybe it's just a difference of opinion, until he looked through her phone.
Your insecurity is becoming your own downfall here. You know, you are manifesting what you fear through your own insecurity, and
also,
what? Your inability. Oh, okay.
Sarah accidentally came in here.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
What did I put up a sign.
Read the sign.
Anyway, yeah, right. You seem deeply insecure, and you are going to be the cause of your own downfall in this relationship because you don't have it in you to embrace a more nuanced perspective on this topic. If you truly cannot conceive of a reality where someone would only consider cheating to not be the worst thing that could happen in a relationship, number one, that's you not having a very vivid imagination, first of all. But also, it's just your own insecurity talking in that regard. If you think the only explanation for that is because she's cheating on you, and not because she just has a different perspective, or just has, you know, thought about this in a more nuanced way than you, that's a you problem. So, yes, you're the asshole. And, you know, I want to assume you don't mean badly, but your own insecurity is hurting the people around you. So that sucks, and you're kind of the asshole for it. This was all self-inflicted, you know. You're having a fucking Citizen Kane moment here.
Yeah.
Whether you can pull yourself out of that, I don't know. But good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck to you. Yeah.
Because it sounds like you played your hand.
Yeah.
Go on. Anyway. Next one. Where are we going?
Next one. Let's go.
Here we go.
Yeah, alright. Am I the asshole for hosting a death anniversary every year to mark the day my brother announced we were dead to him and disowned us? What is this? I 40 plus M?
Why don't you
you're over 40, okay.
Why don't you just say the number?
Yeah.
Go on.
Anyway, I 40 plus M have a brother 34M who is the second youngest of my sibling group. He threw a fit a few years ago, announced that we were all dead to him, and traveled back home to the other side of the country. He hasn't spoken to any of us since then. Why are we dead to him? Because I told a story about a college friend of mine who he has met, and how that college friend was reunited with his long-lost sister. This brother of mine has astounding control issues and has a history of reacting verbally and throwing fits when someone knows something he didn't. He had been good enough friends with this particular college friend of mine that the two of them sometimes got lunch. While throwing his fit, he accused us of hiding news about family friends. We all tried reasoning with him, but he caught a taxi and that was it. And that was that. We all blocked him on everything except for phone. If he wants to reach out, he has to do so by phone, forcing him to confront us directly if there will ever be a reconciliation. I'm not particularly open to a reconciliation at this point, though, as I've really just had enough of his constant attitude, whatever untreated mental disorder he has, his responsibility to deal with it. I spent 20 years encouraging him to get help, including offering to pay for it and provide him logistics for it. I paid his college tuition only, gave him cars, etc. I didn't want him to struggle like I did when I was younger. We tolerated his control issues, theft, him attempting to engineer family drama, manipulation, constant lies, etc. It's been about 6 years now. On the anniversary of this, every year I host a big dinner at my home and invite the family, and each year I have a cake with something like, "You're dead to me now," written on it, usually surrounded by joyful-looking cake art. That's really funny. This year, my eldest nephew has a new girlfriend who he's serious about. She came over for the event for the first time. Her initial reaction was that we were being dicks, but her opinion changed when we told her about how he destroyed my mother's engagement ring, destroyed some family heirlooms, and other such similar things over the years, and then how the catalyst was him freaking out about not knowing something about someone he had not spoken to in 5 years or so at that point. My opinion really is that he's been done with us for a long time since moving to Texas and was just looking for any excuse to cut ties. He got what he could from us, and since we didn't fit a purpose yet, to be clear, meaning that nobody who was giving him money anymore, he decided he didn't need us. So we were talking about it. I thought I was being an asshole about it and was joyful about it. I felt this was one of those things in life where I'm entitled to be an asshole about someone I had bent over backwards for in my life, treated our family and me. My little annual party was sort of my "fuck you too, buddy" response for his behavior. My sister, on the other hand, doesn't think I'm being an asshole at all, and that the little party, while not the kindest, is more of a family unity thing. How about it, Reddit? Am I the asshole here? Point of clarification, he is not dead to me, we are dead to him.
I like this comment. I mean, from Eternal Shadow 76, who I feel like I've read their comments before. That name sounds familiar.
They're fairly common on the IJA subreddits.
I mean, you can throw whatever parties you want, but if you're throwing this kind of party, it kind of just portrays you as someone who holds on to and celebrates hate. Personally, I don't think that's a great vibe to give off. I can understand why some people might think differently of you because of it, but hey, if you want to hold on to and celebrate hate in this world, then feel free to, I guess.
Yeah, I do think it's funny as like a concept to do a "you're dead to me" party after somebody does shit like that, but at the same time, it doesn't say much great about you on a personal level when you're just kind of hanging on to this hatred that you feel for him and that he clearly feels for you.
Yeah, it's like God, I don't even know how to rate this one.
I'm not even sure if I can say. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say you do you, buddy.
Yeah, have fun with that, and if your family thinks it's fine, then what the fuck ever. But I don't know. I personally would not do that. Matter of opinion here.
Yeah, I just you do you, man.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Another cheating one. Am I the asshole here for not taking back my ex because she broke up with me because she thought I cheated? He dislikes girls who dislike boys who dislike show-offy boys who dislike girls who dislike.
That's confusing. Throw that one away.
I, 20M, and my girlfriend, 25F, have been dating since I was 18. I felt a connection with her. She was my first ever girlfriend. I don't know why he keeps capitalizing girlfriend, but whatever. My first time and first everything. Our sex life was amazing, and I wouldn't have traded her for anything. But a few months ago, I went to this birthday party for a friend. She was just turning 22, and my girlfriend was busy, and she couldn't make it. But somehow an image of me hugging the birthday girl, and mind you, my friend is lesbian. It's like my girlfriend forgot. And videos of me giving her a piggyback ride to her cake must have made its way to my girlfriend. When I got home, she immediately confronted me and asked if I did anything. I said no, and practically told her what I did, and pointed out I texted her throughout the whole night I was out, and the fact that my friend is a lesbian, but it still wasn't enough, and she left me. To say the least,
oh my god.
Somebody ran over a skunk. God damn it. This happens so frequently around here. Anyway, to say the least, I was heartbroken and smoked some Zaza and hung out with a few buddies of mine.
I hate it when people refer to weed as Za. Fucking stop doing that.
Cheer myself up and worked a little, but 2 months later she contacted me and realized she was wrong and wanted to get back together, but I declined. She's calling me all a bunch of names, saying it was a mistake, and she has also confessed she slept with someone the night after breaking it off with me and offered to even give me a free pass to sleep with someone.
Oh
Here, I give you 1 free coupon to sleep with anyone else of your choosing.
I give you 1 free coupon to cheat on me. Here you are.
Here is your cuckolding coupon. What the fuck? Anyway, and that she's sorry now. I'm sitting and wondering if I'm the asshole for not taking her back. No, okay, top comment.
No, fuck no.
Top comment, and this is interpreting it a little way. I'm not sure if I necessarily agree, but it's definitely a possibility, and I'm going to read it because it's funny. She left to fuck that other guy. Her reasoning was bullshit and she knew it. Now the new guy doesn't want her, she wants to come back to her safe guy. Don't take her back. She's not good for you. The names she's calling you are because she feels entitled to you, to your support and help. She deserves what she has now. Nothing and no one. Let her rebuild her life alone while you move on to bigger and better things. You are the backup, my dude, and you deserve better.
I mean, to be fair, that is extrapolation, but it's reasonable extrapolation,
but also
because all of the info is here.
Yeah, but also, the next day... I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible if she's, attractive enough, but, like, also, the next day? We can't help but think you had something lined up.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're not the asshole.
You're like, ultra not the asshole here, yeah.
Yep.
Your girlfriend sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
ex-girlfriend at this point.
Oh, he said it.
They're not getting back together. You know that.
We are never, ever, ever getting back together. Alright, I think that'll do it for this here Reddit Dive special, standalone special. Relationship drama special. Advice column special.
Nice.
Fucking, thank you for listening to Love Line featuring Zeke and Kevin, among other things, I guess. We may do more standalone videos like this in the future, or we'll probably do more fucking shit like tier lists and shit like that, or whatever other ideas pop into our head while we wait for Kevin's laptop to be fixed so we can do the podcast again. So stay tuned for that and all the feature updates. You can stay subscribed to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Discord, whatever. You know the fucking drill by now. Anyway, Zeke Freak out. Ciao for now.